Marlo and Alexis and Cheyenne and Andrew.
I think it's hard
Oh, I see. Aww. We're friends. Great. Well, I'm going to ask you a series of questions today about listening. That's a dangerous topic. Listening.
It's in danger.
So let's think about all the times when it's important to listen. How about at school? Is it important to listen at school?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you can have
Okay.
coming up, and then if you don't listen, you don't know what to do.
You can have a test coming up. If you're not listening, you don't know the information, right, Andrew?
You can have homework, you don't listen, you don't know what to do.
Right, you can have homework. If you don't listen, you won't understand. So you have a homework website, but if you don't listen, you won't know that there is a homework website, right? Other reasons why it's important to listen at school?
Oh,
Yes.
so that if like there was a fire and you didn't hear anything.
Excellent. Sometimes people are giving us warnings, right? Or information to keep us safe. And if we're not listening, even if you listen and you don't pay attention, like if you hear the fire alarm bell, and if you don't obey the commands that you're being given, you could be in danger. Zach?
Probably for me, like the only time, if I'm reading and the only time I'll notice there's something going on is if my book catches on fire.
We'll look up your book is not.
Unless it's on my
I have a story I'm going to tell the adults about me and not listening. So it's very similar to that, Zach, actually. So let's talk about home. Why is it important to listen to your parents or other adults at home? If you don't, say that a little louder, Alexis. If you don't listen at home, it's disrespectful. I like that answer. Any other reasons why it's important to listen at home to parents or grandparents or any other adults? You have any answer, Cheyenne? Any other reasons? Those are two really important reasons. Now, Jesus is not here on earth with us anymore, but how might we be able to hear what Jesus has to say to us?
If we gather around so that we can listen.
If we gather around, we can hear him. Sometimes we listen to Jesus in prayer. Where else might we learn what Jesus has to say to us? In church? Marlo?
Around the world, because different people have stories of them.
Different people have stories, and that's what that word testimony means. Remember I used that a couple of weeks ago? When people tell about how good God has been to them, we call that a testimony. They're telling about what God has done to them. So we learn about Jesus from what other people share. We learn about Jesus from, what's the book called that we read? The Bible. We learn about what Jesus has to say to us from the Bible. So we've heard three things, right? We listen to learn. We listen, as you told us, because sometimes we can be warned and we can avoid danger. And what kinds of things does Jesus want us to know? What have you learned in Sunday school about what Jesus has to say?
I think he's trying to say be the best you can be.
He's trying to say, be the best you can be. Did you hear what she said? She said that I've said that a million times, so she remembered it. Be the best you can be. Jesus wants us to do our very best to be kind and loving, because that's how he was. The reason we do those things is because we're following Jesus' example. So Jesus tells us that he's like a shepherd who cares for his sheep, and if shepherds speak to the sheep, what are the sheep supposed to do? Listen and obey. Marla, you had a point?
It's kind of like when you disobey, you don't get like ice cream or whatever you wanted. If you do that, you might get whatever you wanted.
That's a very good point. if we don't listen, sometimes we're not able to get the nice things that we want to have. That happens to us in real life. What do you think are some of the benefits of doing what Jesus tells us to do, to be the best we can be? What do we get out of that if we listen and obey? And Katie, how'd your hand up? Oh, you forgot, okay. Alexis, Marley, you had something to say. Alexis? You can be successful. I think being nice and being respectful and treating people well, that does lead to success. Marla?
I think it leads to success and something else.
So listening is a good thing, right?
People being nice back to you.
People will be nice, right? There's an old saying that you get more bees with honey, right, than with vinegar, which means that if you're a nice person, chances are people are going to be nice back. And we do all of these things because Jesus asked us to. So, as you head off to Sunday school, don't forget to do what?
Be nice.
Be nice, but also listen, because we'll learn important things that will help us. And Jesus loves to know that we're listening, and even more importantly, that we're obeying. So thank you for listening to me. It's time for Sunday school.